want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
She unpacked the approval ratings from last night's speech as far as Americans are favorable of his stance on Russia and Ukraine, favorable about immigration, favorable about tariffs. They felt optimistic that he was absolutely delivering the promises of the campaign just 6 weeks into that. Took some questions from the media. Obviously, it didn't last as long as we thought. It was a slight delay in getting started, but just really kind of recapping such a successful speech last night on the House floor.
And it was a successful speech, and that's something where the Democrats have had no response whatsoever. There's been no Democrat message, no unified front. 76% of Americans supported the speech, supported what they heard. And really, Brian, what President Trump did, he's embracing the common sense solutions to so many of these issues, as well as, by the way, just bringing on those direct human moments. The connections with the angel moms and talking about their daughters, signing executive orders right in person, going and the moment with DJ Daniel, of course, the moment as well with the West Point cadet, I should say, cadet select, because he has now been selected. Again, these were key moments that Democrats chose to attack. They chose to criticize, and in one case, very crudely criticize. In times that they really, and by the way, having been an understanding of how these events are put together, I don't think that the White House really was prepared, because who could imagine that the opposition would be attacking moments such as that? You're going to attack DOGE and they're going to attack cuts and all of this and talk about austerity and talk about inflation, tariffs, but attacking these human stories. Brian, how is it that the Democrats would walk right into something like that?
Yeah, we expect them to, kind of stand up against the policies. We know that. But to stand up against something like a 13-year-old boy who's battling brain cancer, who gets his honorary Secret Service badge, to stand up against the families of angel moms, things like that, that's a human issue. So really my question is this: what does the Democrat Party stand for in general? Not only physically, what would it take for Democrats to stand up and support anything? Because last night, it's a big nothing burger for them. They have some big identity crisis in that party. There's no leadership. There's shots of House Democrats. I know Jasmine Crockett put a TikTok video up, her basically skipping and dancing down the hallways and dropping an F-bomb in one of the press gaggles, one of the press arenas before this speech. So I don't know what they stand for, and I hope Americans, Jack, watched last night, the ones that maybe didn't even vote, or maybe voted Democrat, go, you know what, do they really stand up for American values? Are they really working hard for me? And the answer is no. And President Trump showed his leadership. It was full on display last night.
Well, and that's exactly what it is, because these events, and I was talking about this last night on a live stream with Charlie Kirk, is that there are so many people who only plug into politics at key moments, whether it's a presidential debate, whether it's one of the conventions, and then again for these State of the Union type addresses. And to the sort of average non-political follower, not non-news junkie like like you and me, Brian, and the other great folks around here, is they're plugging in, they want to see what's going on, they're in, they're out. And what they saw was, of course, a command performance from President Trump, but more to the point, what they saw from the other side was childish, it was raucous, It was juvenile. And at some points, it was actually, it was just anti-human to attack a child with brain cancer, to attack a boy who wants to join West Point and serve his country, to go after these human interest cases, to not stand for them and not say, this is what makes our country great. This is what, these are, again, all of the cases, the use cases that you would say, well, these are the things the Democrats normally champion. But again, because their default is to oppose anything that is an association with Donald Trump, their problem is they're actually shrinking their circle smaller and smaller, because I just don't know who wants to continue to support a shrill group like that. And that's why, by the way, you have a lot of Democrats, bigger and bigger names, Cy Simone, for example, at MSNBC, calling out their behavior as saying, you guys really need to stop because you've completely lost the plot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I was just going to mention, if you turned on a lot of the legacy media, they kind of echoed a lot, not all, but some echoed what the Democrats were doing. The lower third said, Trump's divisiveness sets tone in speech. And the only people that were being divisive were the Democrats that weren't being supportive of just basic human success stories. That came up today in the briefing. Carolyn Levitt, it kind of made mention that, you turn on your mainstream media, you've got negativity all day long. Their audience is shrinking. And you know what? I saw an interesting post on X the other day, and I'll try to find it and retweet it. Democrats strategize on how they can win moving forward. And believe it or not, there was 3 things they needed to focus on. More patriotism within their party, love of country, not getting behind radical candidates for some ideology that overwhelmingly the people of this country don't support.